we know from the question that you sent us that one side is x. Well, let's call it x. The other side is 4 less than x. Therefore, if the length is x, then the height must be
x minus 4.
So we have a nice diagram here of our rectangle that we're going to be working on. Now, if we knew what x was, then we would be okay, because we would be able to calculate the perimeter by adding up the 4 sides. However, we don't know what x is. So we're going to have to use the other piece of information that we're told, the fact that the area is equal to 96. Now, when we have a rectangle, there's a fancy way that we can calculate the area of a rectangle. To do that, we need to do
base times height.
So, let's do base times height now. The area of our rectangle is equal to the base of the rectangle times by the height of the rectangle. We know that the area is 96 because we're told that in the question. The base of the rectangle is x, and we're timesing that by the height of the rectangle, which is x minus 4. Let's do an expansion of these brackets. 96, which is the area, is equal to x squared minus 4x. We have something now close to a quadratic equation. So let's rearrange this by turning it into a quadratic equation, which can then be solved. And to do that, I'm going to minus 96. If we do 96 minus 96, we're left with 0 equals x squared minus 4x, and we now have minus 96 on the end. We are going to now solve this quadratic equation by putting this into brackets. We call this factorising. So, our two brackets, to do this, we still have 0 equals, but we now need to think, what pair of numbers times to make 96? There are lots. The first pair of numbers is
1 and 96.
1 and 96. The second pair of numbers is
2 and 48.
The next pair of numbers is
3 and 32.
The fourth pair of numbers is
4 and 24.
The fifth pair of numbers is
6 and 16.
The next pair of numbers is
8 and 12.
And that is where we're going to stop, because we've found a pair of numbers that adds together all minuses to make the 4 in the centre of the equation. So our pair of numbers is 8 and 12. Let's put those into some brackets now. The only question is, do we put a plus or a minus here and a plus or a minus here? Well, because there is a minus in front of this 4, that means that
the minus goes with the 12.
Let's put a minus there and a plus there. In order to make a 0, either the first bracket must be 0 or the second bracket must be 0. If the first bracket is 0, then that means
x equals 12.
x is 12. If the second, that's our first one, if the second bracket is 0, then that means
x equals minus 8.
So, the second one means x is equal to minus 8. Now we are talking about some lengths of rectangles. So we can't have a minus number for the length of a rectangle. So we're going to cross out the minus answer. The only answer that we care about is that x is equal to 12. If x is equal to 12, then x minus 4 must be 8. And we have managed to find the lengths of all of the sides of our rectangle. If we know all 4 lengths, we can add them together to find that the perimeter equals
40.
And our units from our question is feet. Thank you very much, sir, for sending us the question. It was very useful, and we are very glad that our Year 10 group is able to help you. So goodbye.